James Aldred is a tree climbing consultant. His work takes him all over the world. So he's no stranger to the dark heart of Africa, the Congo. He was working there when something extraordinary started happening to his body.
After 3 or 4 days, I started noticing these tiny little pimples, really, just developing. But they had some itching with them, and the skin became inflamed around, and especially at night, as the days went on and the pimples got bigger, the itching got a lot worse.
By day 6, he could feel 90 tiny bodies moving under his skin at night. He was being eaten alive. James had fallen prey to the Tumbu Fly, who need live, juicy, bloody flesh to hatch their young. James' wet clothes provided the perfect environment for the Tumbu Fly to lay its eggs. When James put his clothes back on, the eggs began to hatch, and the Tumbu Fly larvae started burrowing into his flesh. By now, James was in considerable pain, with 90 sores all over his body. Unable to continue work, he paddled downstream to the base camp. Driven to distraction by the painful itching, James was now having great difficulty sleeping. One of the lumps on his leg was by far the biggest and the worst. At his wit's end, James decided to try to spear the thing inside out.
That was the beginning of the end for that one, really. It went septic, blew up, went really tender, and that was a nasty business. I just didn't know whether I was coming or going, didn't know what to do. These things were getting bigger, the itching was driving me to distraction, driving me mad. And then one day a guy just walked out in the forest. And he got this oil out, I think it was oil palm oil or something, and began to smear it on the bites.
Tumbu Fly larvae need an air hole to breathe. The oil blocked the holes and forced the larvae to loosen their hold and move to the surface. Then began the long and painful process of removing the parasites.
It was astonishing. This little maggot came flying out. He kept squeezing that same one, and 2 more maggots came out of that first one. There had been 3 maggots. And I looked around at all the bites and I thought, my God, I've got 90 of these. If there's going to be 3 maggots coming out of each of these, this is really not going to be fun at all.
But James had no choice. They had to be removed.
We must have spent about 4 hours getting these things out of me. And we still didn't get all of them out, but we got out the ones that were ready to come out. And then, of course, afterwards, I was a little bit tender, but very, very happy. Very, very happy that it was all over and gone. And I kept some of the little critters as well, and pickled them in a bit of whiskey, and brought them back, souvenirs.
Although James' story is gross, his parasitic invasion wasn't life-threatening.